Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie. I'm the On Point Stitcher. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. A special welcome to my returning guests and a even more special welcome to those of you visiting for the first time. I am doing a Stitch With Me on my Little Blue project. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs project. I'm doing this as a stitch along with Debbie from Creatively Yours, and this week I thought it might be fun to go ahead and stitch and record every time I sat down to work on this project. So you're going to see a couple of differences in the angles, a couple of differences in the well, there's an angle change for you right there. But you're going to see differences in the lighting, just depending on what day and what time of day I was stitching. So it is sped up to 8 times so that you can see the progress that I did this week. The other thing that I did for this video is I went ahead and edited out every time I had to flip over the project. I would just really quickly reach up and push pause on my camera so that every time I had to flip, it just skipped that part. So it did help with some of the time frame as well. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this project. I am working on this one on 25 count 1/1, and the tails that you see, those are from starting my threads. I do start from the front, and maybe if you're interested sometime, maybe I'll show you how I do start my threads a little more slowed down. But I do start from the front and try to finish from the back every time. Sometimes I do go ahead and park some threads if I am moving on to that color. I do like to work kind of in rows, and I like to work from right to left, and I'll work in a 10 by whatever the amount is across the page row, and then I will come back down. Just like you see there, I'm starting a new row. So I come back down and start a new 10 by 10, and I don't stay within that 10 by 10 square because I am afraid of getting lines on my project. I've had that happen on one project and I was able to catch it really quickly, so I didn't see those lines but for like one go on it, and so now I kind of go back to my original style of stitching when I started stitching a very long time ago. I was a cross-country stitcher, so now I kind of do a mix of cross-country within a row. I try to stay within that first 10 by 10, and if I have some stitches on the outside of that and I feel confident in my counting, I'll go ahead and continue on. So this pattern is pretty fun to work on. It's got a really good amount of block stitching, a good amount of confetti, and what's really fun about it is it kind of follows all these shapes. So the row that I was working on prior to this one is one of the rows that has some of those water droplets on the spider web. And so it's really cool the way that the pattern follows those spider webs. You'll have these little bubble effects here and there, and all of those water droplets, they're all kind of different colors, and so those are your confetti areas. And then the area that I'm working on now is kind of block stitching, not completely block stitching, but it's got a lot of color within that 10 by 10, so it didn't go too slow. You do have to, be careful counting and all that good stuff. But this pattern is really fun, so if you like it, feel free to jump in that stitch along with Debbie and I. We would sure love to follow your progress and have you join us. So to be perfectly honest, you guys, these videos make me so nervous. I'm not nervous while I'm stitching and recording because it's a no-brainer. You just sit down and turn on your lamp and turn on your camera and make sure that it's kind of lined up, and you just start stitching. So nothing big there. That can be a little stressful because if you forget to push the record button after, flipping it over or something along those lines, which I did a couple of times on this video, it's not that big of a deal, but it's like, oops. But honestly, where the nervousness comes from is trying to decide how to present the video, because everyone likes Stitch With Me videos differently. So let me know what you like. I have a plethora of different kinds that I like, and it just depends on the floss tuber and their personality and how they present it. So I really like Amy's videos where she will come on and give her intro and say hi, and then she will turn on some quiet, relaxing music, and you just follow her stitching. And those I really love to lay down and fall asleep to, because you're seeing, a gorgeous project being worked on, and you have this nice relaxing music, and it's just really nice to fall asleep to. But then there are other floss tubers that, I might want to catch up with. They have a funny story or something while they're talking and showing you their work, and it's just really fun. So it's really hard to make that decision, you guys, about well, how should I present this? How does everyone prefer? And so this time I did go ahead and decide to do a voiceover. I did want to do this one as music, but then as I put it together, this is like about a half page of progress worked on, and it's a couple of hours. And so when I put all of it on my program and then I sped everything up, it was still like a half an hour. And I was like, well, I could totally do a quiet, relaxing music one, but then I needed to go find some music that would last long enough. And I didn't have that at my fingertips. So I thought, instead I will just start talking and see where it goes, let you know about this project, because I haven't really spent too much time talking about it, and I just thought it'd be fun. So this week I didn't have a whole lot of stitching time, and some of that stitching time was spent in the car or downstairs watching a movie with the family or something like that. And I think I've decided that I'm going to keep a project downstairs just on the stand all the time so that I don't have to keep on moving things around. But I thought that might be fun to just have a project that's always in the living room, and that would be my focus piece, and that way it's always there. And then the piece that I might be doing a stitch along with, or I'm trying to just get some progress on, that one I'll keep up in my stitching spot. So I do have a little stitching spot. It's by the window so I can overlook the mountains. I live in Colorado Springs, and we get to see Pikes Peak from our bedroom window every morning, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I have my stitching spot right by the window where I get really nice lighting and a really nice view, and you can watch the weather. So when it snows, I like to open up the curtains a lot more than usual, because the lighting is amazing when it's snowing. And so I'll just sit there and enjoy watching the snow come down and have really good lighting. It's really amazing. I love my stitching spot. So earlier this week, my family and I got to go see the new Mario movie, and it was so fun. If you guys are nostalgic about Nintendo and Mario, Donkey Kong, all the things, the new Mario movie is awesome. They basically filled the entire movie with nothing but Easter eggs. And I was telling my family after the movie, I was like, okay, I have to do some research on the writer, because the feel of the movie felt just like one of our other favorite family films, which is Lego Movie, the second one, or I don't remember how they put it, but it's basically the second Lego movie. And it's always moving, it's hilarious, it's just a really good movie. So when I went and looked it up, I was like, oh my goodness, it is the exact same writer. That's why it was so good, always moving and just all these things. But I'll tell you what, you guys, he is amazing. He filled that entire movie with Easter eggs. The entire movie had parts from like the original Mario, then it had parts that you would recognize from like the second Mario to Mario Kart. I mean, everything, even Odyssey. So my kids were just like squealing when they saw Bowser, because he at one point wears the same outfit and top hat and everything from Odyssey, and it's one of their favorite games. But they absolutely loved it. They had Rainbow Road from, Mario Kart. It was just a blast. But the entire movie, my husband and I were smiling and enjoying watching our kids more than we were watching and enjoying watching the movie together. The movie was amazing, but watching my kids enjoy it was so much more fun. They were giggling. They were sitting real close together, making references. You could hear, oh my gosh, that's from this one, that's from this, that's from that. And just the references back and forth was everywhere. And so it was just so much fun. It's really well written. It's really well put together. So if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Even if you don't have kids, if you are a fan of Mario, go see it. You will absolutely love it. So the very next day, I was at work and I got a text from my older daughter, and she goes, so my best friend and my other best friend want to know if I want to go see the Mario movie again. They haven't seen it and they want to go see it. And so she got to go see it already for the second time. And I think we're going to try to plan to go see it a second time, or either that or my brother-in-law might take the kiddos to go see it for a second time, because the girls really want to dress up as Mario and Luigi. So my older daughter, when she saw it for the second time, she dressed up as Luigi. She has these cute little overall shorts, and then she had her green shirt, and she had this green hat that looked very similar to Luigi's green hat. Only difference is this one is like a St. Patrick's Day hat. So it's got like plaid and stuff on it, but I thought it was very ingenious. It worked. And so they both want to dress up for the next time that they go as Mario and Luigi. And it would be just absolutely perfect, because my younger daughter is a little shorter, so she would be short Mario, and my older daughter is a little taller. She's lankier. So, I mean, it really is Mario and Luigi for my kids, aside from the fact that Mario is supposed to be the older one. So it's switched, but I have one that's shorter and one that is taller and lankier. So they really want to do that. And then my brother-in-law wants to dress up as Bowser. So we were like, yeah, you guys should totally go. So I'll have to help find a red shirt and a red hat so that they can both dress up and go again. And I'm not sure what my brother-in-law will wear as Bowser. I think he's going to have to be a little creative and figure something out, but I think that'll be a whole lot of fun, and I'll have to get some pictures. That just sounds so much fun. Other than that, this has just been a really strange week. We have had so many atmospheric changes here that everyone is feeling it. Everyone is having headaches and tired, and my younger daughter is unfortunately sick. So it's been a rough ride here this week, but we have had a couple of days where we'll have warm weather and then we'll have rain, and it will immediately switch over to slush and snow and ice, and then it will dry up and be a warm day again, and it'll start all over again with the raining and then the slushy snow. And it has done that 3 or 4 days in a row this week, and it is just the strangest feeling. So everyone's just feeling a little down right now, a little out of sorts. So yeah, it's been a very, very interesting week, but it's been a good week too. My older daughter is really excited about her recital coming up. She is doing 4 or 5 dances in her recitals this year, so it'll be really fun. She's doing ballroom this year. We went and got her some new ballroom shoes, and she needed new pointe shoes, so we got her some new pointe shoes a couple of weeks ago. So it's been busy and good, and just a very strange week, but we're through it. It's Saturday, hoping for the best for next week. Now that the weather's starting to get a little warmer here, though, I'm starting to think that maybe I need to make some plans for this summer and go out and do some things that I haven't done in a while. So I'm thinking maybe some bike riding and going and finding some different areas to hike that we haven't really hiked. My husband and my brother-in-law really want to go do a 14er this year. So there's a bunch of 14ers here in Colorado Springs, and a lot of them though are on hills and mountains, and I don't know that I'm in that good a shape in order to do those. So I think that I need to start preparing now and maybe go find some of the like more walker friendly type of trails, and then move on to more of the, serious hiker type of trails before I really get into doing those 14ers with the guys. But it is something that they want to do this year, is go and do some things like that. And so it's really time to start maybe getting out there and doing some things. I do try to go and do a walk with the dog every day, but we usually stay pretty close to the house or around on trails that are not far from the house, and they're usually paved. And I do have a favorite that is like right around the corner, and it is paved, but it does go up a lot of hills and down a lot of hills. And so by the end of that walk, your legs are feeling it. You're like, okay, I'm done. But that's a really good one. And then there's a park not too far away that I like to go for a walk with the dog. But oh my goodness, you guys, yesterday I took him for a walk. Our dog's name is Rocky, and I will insert a picture of him because he's so adorable. But anyway, I'll put it at the end, and I'll explain, or maybe I'll put it here. Okay, I have some quick little stories about him, and I'll go ahead and put some pictures. But anyway, so I went for a walk with him yesterday, and we're on our way home, and we're right across the street, and where we are, we call it Bunny Alley, because for some reason there's nothing there. Like it's not a big open field or anything like that. I guess there's just like good places to hide or something like that, but there's a lot of squirrels and rabbits right across the street from us. And I mean, there's a lot of foliage right there too, but it's mostly just a parking lot. And so I'm always kind of careful when we're walking through there, because I know that if he sees something, he might just take off, or he might give me a signal that he sees something before he takes off, because he's typically pretty good on the leash. But yesterday he hadn't seen a rabbit that he could chase in a while. And keep in mind, we do have rabbits. We have several rabbits in our house, and we have one outdoor rabbit. And so he does play with our outdoor rabbit. It is so funny. But he likes to chase the rabbits that are the wild rabbits, because they're more fun to chase. Like when he's playing with Cinnamon, they have a gate in between them, just, for safety and all that stuff, and they will run back and forth with each other through the gate and just play with each other. And then when Rocky is bored, he will go somewhere else. And so when Rocky sees a bunny across the street, he's like, totally different story, turns into one of those crazy dogs, time to go get the rabbit. So yesterday, when he saw this little critter, I was not expecting it. I kind of saw his head and ears perk up, and I was like, does he see something? And then he saw something the second I saw something, and he decided to take off. And I couldn't let go of the leash fast enough, and so he was just like, I was being pulled along with him. It was not fun. So I had to get him to stop, and then he pouted, and to me it felt like he was saying sorry all the way the rest of home, because I let him know. I was like, that was not cool, dude. And he walked right beside me. Usually he likes to kind of walk in front of me like he's leading the way. He'll look back at me like, which way are we going? Where are we going? But for the most part, he likes to walk in the front, so he feels like he's leading the way. And so the rest of the way home, he walked right beside me, and he would look down at the ground, and then he'd look up at me over and over, just down at the ground, up at me, down at the ground, up at me. And I was like, are you trying to say you're sorry? Because I forgive you, but that wasn't cool, and now my shoulder hurts. So not cool, dude, but it was cute. But the other really cute thing that he does that I wanted to tell you guys about is that whenever anybody comes home, he demands hugs. And he doesn't just like go bowl you over, because he's not a big dog. So he's this really cute little thing. He was a rescue. We've had him now for 3 years, so he is 4 years old now. And he is a Cocker Spaniel Boxer mix. And he is just adorable. He's a great dog, and I really love him. But anyhow, when you walk in the door, he does demand hugs. So when you walk in and you close the door, he of course comes over to say hello, but then he sits down on the rug by the front door, and he goes into the begging position, and he sticks his arms out, and he's asking for you to hug him. And as you come closer, he actually sticks his arms apart so that there's room for you to be able to get in there and give him a hug. It's absolutely adorable. And then if you let him, like if he's really, really in the mood for a hug, then he'll step on like your leg or something like that and just put his head over top of your shoulder like he's hugging you back. It's really cute. But yesterday I got a picture of him hugging my older daughter with his head over her shoulder, and my husband got a picture of him asking for hugs as he walked in the door. So I will have to insert those pictures so that you can see them. I'll probably put them at the end. I was having a hard time deciding where I wanted to put them, but I think I'll put them at the end. So aside from the dog, we do have some other animals too. We have a chinchilla. You have probably seen at least one picture of him on Instagram. I posted a picture a long time ago, probably a year ago, of Michi. I was letting him run around while I was stitching, and he likes to play jungle gym on everyone. So if you sit in the room with him, he will use your entire body to play on. He will run over and jump off of you, or he will run over and get as high as he can on top of you before jumping off and running all over the place. Chinchillas are pretty silly animals, so it's a lot of fun to watch him. But he will jump up as high as getting on top of your head just so that he can jump as far as he can go. And so it's pretty funny to have him jump up onto your shoulder and then up onto your head and then jump off of you again, because their little legs are so strong. So when they jump off of you, you can feel like your body move a little bit. It's incredible just how strong those little legs are. But we also have 3 rabbits. So we had, originally we had 3, and my kiddos got them from their grandparents. The girls visited them so much that they wanted the girls to feel like they had something there. They had something there to take care of and something to love on and all that stuff, and just something that felt like it belonged to them while they were there. So they had 3 bunnies, and we thought they were all girls. One turned out to be a boy, and you know how that goes. So we were able to find good homes for those bunnies. There were only 2 babies that they had. So luckily we were able to find homes for them easily. But then the next year we brought them home because my in-laws were having trouble with stray dogs in their neighborhood, and these dogs knew where the rabbits were, and they were outside in this really nice, beautiful hutch that my father-in-law had built, but the dogs would go out there and bark at them and run around and just, you know, scare the rabbits like crazy. And so we brought them home, and we brought home 2, and the other female actually went with her babies to that home. And so we had 2 that we brought home, and then we saved a rabbit last year. Her name was Muffin, and she came home to us. She came from not a great situation. So she came home to us, and we said, okay, we can be a temporary home for her until we can find something permanent. And so that was the plan, and then she had babies. We did not know that we were helping out rescue a pregnant rabbit. So the girls raised up the bunnies, and they got to keep 1. And so we're back up to 3 rabbits again, but that's okay. They are happy. They are taken care of. It's all good. But we thought that bunny that we were keeping was a girl, and it's a boy. So my older daughter is saving up money in order to get Banana Nut Muffin is his name, and Mochi, her rabbit. She wants to get them spayed and neutered so that she can free roam them in her room together. So right now she lets them take turns being out and running around and playing and stuff like that, so that they both get their exercise, but she wants to be able to have them together. So we're working towards that goal. And the other rabbit, he is still an outdoor rabbit. He decided that he just likes to be outside. When we bring him inside, he gets salty and annoyed. We bring him in when it's cold or the weather's just not good, but he does prefer to be outside. Well, we're coming to the end of this video, and I hope you've enjoyed watching me stitch on this piece and enjoyed listening to me ramble about really nothing, honestly. It kind of just flowed as we were going, just words came and stories came. So I hope you enjoyed everything that this video was today. And if you would like to join us in this stitch along, this again is a Heaven and Earth Designs project. It is Little Blue by Amy Stewart, so it does work for 2 stitch alongs. It works for Little Blue, and it also works for the Anything Amy Sal. So either way, I can't wait to see what you are working on, and I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you making it this far if you have, and I appreciate all that you do, being here, watching, commenting, if that's, you know, what you do, everything. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to catch up with you again next time. I'll see y'all later. Happy stitching. Bye.